Hey guys, how's it going? We are going to talk about the current state of Despot's game after yesterday's new patch. A lot changed, and I would like to talk about my opinions on the state of the game and where I think it's at and maybe what needs to change. So let's jump into it. I'm going to start off by making a very clear point that this game is still in early access. Even though it's a great game, it's still in early access. The devs on this patch, the patch notes, mentioned multiple times. Very, very important to note that they mentioned that it is experimental. So I want to make sure that I mention that it's experimental, and their decision whether to keep these changes or remove them will depend on community feedback. It's mentioned right there at the top of the patch notes. So let's get into it. And this isn't going to be a really, really long video. I played around with it a bit last night. There's not much patch notes to go over, really. It was a small, as far as a update in patch notes goes, it was pretty small. But what does stand out to me is the first line where it says there's no new content this season, deal with it. That's fine, right? We're dealing with it. It's just a small balance update. That is false. This is the biggest change to the game since it came into early access. So understand that this is by far the biggest change to the game, and I know that content gets added, and a lot of content's been added, and it's great content. But as far as an actual change to the way the game is played, the outcomes of the game, and everything, the general feel of the game, this is by far the biggest change to the game. And my opinion is that it's been gutted. That's my opinion. There's no more randomness in your PvE experience. It's here's your mutations, and you can have exactly what you want every time. And that to me removes a lot of the fun in the game. I'm gonna have I had a difficult time last night even testing out the patch because it wasn't fun. There was no variation in runs. It was just if you want something, you can have. I'm gonna show an image here. I'll show you what the current mutations look like. So here is our new, as of yesterday, our new mutation tree, if you will, or the way the mutations work. So there is no more. I'll use right out of the gate. We'll use delayed pain as an example. Delayed pain used to be available across the board. Every class had it. It is now only available on eggheads. Right? Only eggheads. If you look at this, it feels like there's a lot of mutations missing. There is, right? So when you even look at that, so there's 10 classes in the game. That's 9 mutations removed from the pool, just on one, right? So that's 9 gone. So all your variation, all the variation for that is gone. To some people, and I'm not going to say that this is bad, like some people might, there are going to be people, there are people that I have talked to, they think this is a great change. I think it's divided the community. So that's my opinion. If you look at Res, mages are the only class in the game that now have resurrection. It used to be every class. Now it's just mages. So I think you can kind of see where the meta ends up shifting without even having to look at things, because it's pretty easy to tell which classes are going to be the strongest just based off of the mutations. Let's look at let's look at Vamp. It is now only available on fencers, which essentially makes it useless because fencers, no one uses fencers that way anyway. Fencers get used for spinning fencer, and that Vamp doesn't work with spinning fencing. So that's nothing. What else is there? Something like Tricksters. Now Tricksters are the only class with cleanse. So that removes a lot of strategy from the game as far as cleanse, and it just cleanse was a very important mutation to have before. Now it's on a class that I think arguably is very difficult to use in the PvP part of the game. I ran a Trickster build yesterday, and in PvE, and Tricksters, PvE they crush, but I got destroyed in the King of the Hill by mages and by cultists. So this is I don't like. There's not much to really talk about. I mean, we can talk about it in the discussions. I'll put a link to my Discord in the description if you want to talk more about it, about the update and your opinions on it. But as it stands right now, in my opinion, and it's only a day after the update came out, these three classes over here, you got your cultists, mages, and eggheads. There's your meta. That's it. Shooters, even now, they're completely irrelevant, because they don't have anything that can give them health back. They don't have any vamp or anything like that, right? So they've been rendered completely irrelevant. Yeah, there's nothing for them. Fighters are incredibly hard to run still. So yeah, you're gonna have eggheads because they have delayed pain and they have the magic shield, which is also a really, really good mutation. Mages, of course, still super strong, right, with their res. And then cultists. Nobody has res except for mages. So cultists can stomp almost everything with Hail Satan, right? Like, you just run Hail Satan, everything's gonna go pop. So there's like very few counters to it. I could see eggheads being a counter because of delayed pain. Mages, I tried to run mages just to see how it would go, and it did not go well against Hail Satan. So, like, even though they came back, if the person running Hail Satan has a little bit of backup damage, right, they have a few mages there, they just shred right through whatever little bit of health, 20% of health you come back with, or whatever it is. Unless maybe if you're running a bunch of shaman. Yeah, there's no mutations. So essentially what you do is you go through the game and you don't even need to buy all the altars. If you're watching this, I don't recommend buying the altars anymore. Maybe run on mutagen mode, but don't invest the 120 in the altar. I tested it last night. You don't need to spend that 120 tokens on the third altar because you get everything you want by the time you're done your run every single time. Guaranteed. So don't invest in extra rolls. You're going to have to if you want to get your magic damage up. You're going to have to invest in one, but don't spend tokens on that. The game is completely simplified. Simplified right down to the bare bones. And again, I'm going to say it's a test. But some experiments fail, and they fail badly, and that's my opinion on this one. Okay, I'm not going to put out a bunch of videos about the game negatively bashing a game that I love. I love this game. I've built most of my content and channel around this game, and I'm not gonna bash it. But I'm also, you can expect to see more content around different games on my channel in the short term, because there's nothing for me to cover in the game. It's mages, Hail Satan, and eggheads. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry for the negative vibe on the video, but I feel like it was an important video for me to do because I'm very passionate about this game, and this is the first time I've been actually really critical of a change in the game. I've been a huge fan of everything that's happened in the game up to this point. So hopefully things shift in another way. And if you like it, I'm glad you like it. Seriously, if you like this, I'm all. If you like it, that's awesome. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Not everybody's going to be happy, right? So we'll see what happens. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.